Hey everyone! So today I have a back to school look for you guys using all drugstore products, nothing high-end, because I feel like if you are someone who is going back to school, you're probably on some kind of budget or you don't necessarily have the money to go buy all MAC products or high-end products. So I wanted to use all drugstore products for you guys going back to school. This is something that I think is more appropriate for like a high school student going back to school, or even college. I mean, if you were just looking for a quick and simple look. Middle school, I mean, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup when I was in middle school, so I never wore anything at all, but if you could, I think this would be appropriate. This is just a really quick and simple look, and again, using all drugstore products. So I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial, and I will see you guys soon. Alright, so since we're using all drugstore products, what I'm starting off with for my face is the Garnier BB cream, and I'm actually mixing the two colors, the light medium and the medium deep. And if you want, I mean, if you're like in a rush in the morning to get ready for school, I would say just apply it with your fingers. Just because I have a little extra time, I'm going to go ahead and use the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to blend it in. This particular BB cream has excellent coverage, so if you need a little bit of extra coverage for school, but you don't want to wear like a full-on foundation, this is a really, really good option. Highly recommend these. Not that I'm going back to school, but when I worked in the classroom, because I was a teacher, excuse me, for 4 years, this is what I wore every day, because I didn't particularly like to wear foundation every day. I just thought it was, I don't know, for me it was just too much. But this was perfect. It gave me a perfect amount of coverage. It wasn't super heavy on my skin, and I just really liked the finish of it. Oh, and the other thing that really drew me to it is that I have, oh, don't forget to blend down your neck. I have very oily skin, and this, I felt like, totally kept that under control, which is a huge plus for me. So you can see what a difference that makes. It makes a huge, huge difference. And then sometimes I'll just go back and add a touch more where I might need it. There. Notice I do put it over my eyes too. That's just so I can kind of use it also as kind of a base for my eyeshadow, and it will just even everything out. So then just to set that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my CoverGirl True Blend in Translucent Light. I'm just using a big brush. This one's from MAC, but any big brush. Just kind of put it where you would get oily. And like I said, once I started using these two products, I didn't have to like blob later on in the day, which was really nice. For those of you that have oily skin, you know how nice that can be. Alright, so when I do that, if it gets on my lips, I typically just kind of wipe it off, and then I just go in with a little EOS balm and just moisturizing the lips a little bit while I do the rest of the face. Then I'm just going to start by brushing out my eyebrows with a spoolie. And to be honest, I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, because this is an all drugstore tutorial, and the one eyebrow product that I have from the drugstore is this. It's the Revlon Brow Fantasy, and if you can tell, the pencil is way too short. I can't sharpen it anymore, so I can't get anything out of it. So what I might do, in fact I think I will, my eyebrows aren't terrible right now, and because this is back to school, and I'm kind of focusing on this like a high school person, like if I was going back to school in high school, this might be what I do real quick. I'm just going to go ahead, I do have the gel side left. I'm just going to go ahead and use some of the gel and kind of fill in my eyebrows with that. Might not make a huge difference, but it's something just to hold them in place. Alright, so that's the eyebrows. Very simple. I just put a little bit of gel in it. I will say that's one thing that you want to make sure that you do if you don't do a whole lot else, is make sure that your eyebrows look groomed. It'll make your whole face look like it's much more put together. Alright, so for the eyes, I'm going to use a mix of 2 different drugstore palettes. One is the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells palette, the trio, and then the other one is the L'Oreal Paris, and this is in Brazen Bolds. So this palette here too. So I'm going to start by taking the Walking on Eggshells trio and taking that top color there and just putting that all over my lid. Because this is a back to school look, it's not going to be anything like super defined or dramatic. It's going to be fairly simple and easy. So I've got that all over the lid, and actually while I have it, I'm just going to take a little bit of it and put it under my eyebrow. If you don't want to do this because you just don't feel like it, you don't have to. So I'm going to go into the L'Oreal palette, and this really light brown here is what I'm going to use just kind of all throughout the crease. Alright, so then I'm just taking another big fluffy brush with nothing on it and just really blending all of that out. Because you really don't want any harsh lines, especially at school. Since it's the daytime, you don't want anything harsh. Everything should be nice and blended. And then I'm just going to go back in real quick with that same color that we used on the lid and just kind of touch up where any may have kind of disappeared when I put that brown on. I'm then going to go ahead and take the L'Oreal Infallible Shadow, and this is in the color Ice Latte, and this is just what I'm going to use on my inner corners here. I think it's really nice during the day to have like a bright pop of like a champagne color in here because it just makes it look really awake. So you can kind of see that just kind of opens up my eye. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other one. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and go back with that same Wet n Wild trio. And I'm going to take this really dark brown in the middle here and then an angled brush. And this is what I'm going to use for my liner. Because again, it's daytime, I don't want to use like a liquid or a gel. I just think it's a little too harsh. So something soft, especially for like a high school going back to school look, I recommend just using a powder shadow, and then we're going to kind of blend it out a little bit. You don't need to worry about making it perfect because like I said, we are just gonna blend it out. If you do want to make it perfect, you can, but if you're not good with liner, I mean, this is a great way. You don't have to worry about being perfect with it, and it'll still come out looking really pretty. So all I did was put it at the base of my lash, and then I'm going to go in with this pencil brush right here, and all I'm going to do is just kind of go over it and just kind of smudge it out, and then it'll still be dark at my lash line, and then it'll just kind of be a little bit softer, so you can kind of tell the difference between this eye and this eye. I will go back one more time and just kind of intensify just at the lash line. I'm not trying to bring it up or anything. And also something I will mention too, I wouldn't suggest using black, especially just because you're in school during the day, and I think black liner, even when using powder, can be a bit harsh for during the day. So stick with something like a brown, or you can even do a colored eyeshadow. If you did like a blue or a green, that would be really pretty too. I just wouldn't recommend wearing black. Alright, then kind of keeping with that whole like not going with black thing. I'm going to use my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. This is in the color Black Brown, so it's not as intense as a straight black mascara. There's a little bit of brown in it, so it's a little bit softer for during the day. Okay, so that is my lashes done with mascara. If you want, I'm actually not going to do this today, but if you wanted to kind of brighten up that the eye area, you can put a little bit of like a cream liner in there. Something I recommend is the NYX Wonder Pencil. It's like a flesh tone colored eye pencil, and you can put it on your lower waterline to again kind of open up and brighten up the eyes. I would especially recommend this if you didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, but if you did and you're fine, then I don't think this is totally necessary. Alright, so we're going to totally skip bronzer because, again, I don't think during the day it's necessary, especially if you're going to school. You don't want to be wearing a ton of makeup anyways, so I would say totally skip the bronzer. What I would say to do is put on some blush because that will very much awaken your face and give you a little color, a little life. So since we're sticking with the whole drugstore thing, I'm going to kind of mix these two from Rimmel. One is called Santa Rose, it's this color here, and then this one is called Autumn Catwalk. So I'm going to do like a little bit of a mix of these two, and I'm going to start with the Santa Rose. So as you can see, it's just a nice neutral tone, not a whole lot of color to it. If you didn't want a lot of color, this would be a great blush for you, and you could just use this. But because I do want a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and also, like I said, use a little bit of the Autumn Catwalk. Alright, so the only thing we have left is the lips. Now, again, because I'm kind of doing this as like a high school student, I want to do lipstick, I want to do lip liner. I just think that's way over the top for school. So what I recommend is just a lip gloss. If you're not a lip gloss fan, then you can just use your chapstick or whatever, but I typically like to have something on my lips. So I'm going to go ahead, I have a couple options here for you. These are just great, what I think, everyday colors. I have the NYX Smoky Look. I have the NYX Perfect, which these look very similar, I really like that. And then I also have the Rimmel Stay Glossy. I think this is called, well, it's number 2088, and it's something Forever Romance or Romantic or something like that. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and take the NYX Perfect Lip Gloss and put that on. It's just a really pretty neutral color. I don't know if you guys have ever used the NYX glosses before. Some people say they hate the smell. I absolutely love it. It smells like, it almost smells like cherry medicine, which makes it sound horrible, but I think it smells really good. So, see it for yourself. Or smell it for yourself. If you want to do something a little bit bolder for school, you could do something like one of these glosses from Revlon, like a brighter color. And so that completes my back to school look. It's not a ton of makeup, it's very simple, it's very easy. Obviously it took me a little longer because I was explaining it to you, but I think if you were to get up in the morning and do this, it would take you maybe 10 minutes, I think at the most. So it's a pretty quick, easy look. I just, the way I did my hair, this is, well, when I went to school, when I was in high school, I always wore my hair down, and I don't know why, because by about second period, I always had it up in a ponytail because it drove me nuts. So I don't know why I ever wore it down in the first place. But that being said, when I was in school teaching as a teacher, this is how I wore my hair pretty much every single day, just because it's so easy in the morning. And when you're teaching and you're working, because I was a third grade teacher, when you're working with little kids and you're like bent over, you don't want your hair everywhere. So I always had it in like a low, just quick and easy bun, and then my favorite way to accessorize was with a flower. Let's see, here we go. I got these at Nordstrom. I have a ton of different colors. I mean, I buy flowers for my hair anytime I see them. I just really like them. And I think it's a cute little back to school look. It's a nice little look for, well, have a little flower in your hair. So, like I said, that's my back to school look. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like, comment, share, whatever all those buttons and all that stuff is down there. If you could please do it, I would really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.